So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So yet again, I am featuring the Hyundai Stargazer on my channel. But not just any other Stargazer. What I have here is the Stargazer GLS. So this is the middle variant. So I wanted to feature this middle variant because I might have the same case what I did with the Hyundai Cretas when I did the top of the line review and the middle variant review. I did notice with the middle variant GL Creta that it was a little bit more fun to drive since the absence of the tech. So we'll get more on the tech with this later on. So I'd like to thank everyone here at the newly opened showroom at Hyundai Pasong Tamo. I was here as well during the grand opening. I met a lot of people here. So I'd like to thank Miss Abbie, Pascual, Sir CJ, and to Miss Liezel for making these reviews possible. Yes, I will have more reviews coming here at Hyundai Pasong Tamo. So I wanted to start off again with the Stargazer GLS because since November I did the top of the line review. I was a bit hit or miss with the looks of this, but time and time again though, I kind of like the weird design of this, so it grew on me a little bit more. So being the GLS variant, so the only thing you can tell that this is the middle variant. There. That the GLS middle variant only gets halogen lights, but at least you still have the LED light bar over here. I don't mind the halogen lights because most of competition had halogens anyways, but then again the GLS Premium has LEDs all around. So powering this thing is still the same 1.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine that produces 112 horsepower and 144 Newton meters of torque. And like all Stargazers, this is mated to an IVT. Well, that's Hyundai's version of the CVT transmission. So what I like with this Stargazer, well, all of them in general again, is that curvy silhouette design, especially here on the A-pillar. My case still stands like with the GLS Plus review. The headroom for the front passengers is a little bit tight because of this silhouette design, but I don't mind it. So everything is exactly the same like with the top of the line model. You still have that two-tone wheels. I don't mind it too. Looks alright for me. So being the middle variant, this one costs 1,168,000 pesos. There is a whopping 90,000 peso difference between this and the top of the line version. It's not gonna be like, for example, only with the Toyota Veloz where there's only 40k difference between both brands. But if you want to upgrade from here to the premium, you're gonna pay a more premiumness. And anyway, just kidding. So everything is exactly the same, even up to the rear. My favorite part, because as I said, like in my top of the line review, it looks like a TIE fighter, and the space there is pretty good too. So with all of the seats up, you have a total of 200 liters. Fold the third row down, you have a total of 585 liters. So you can at least fit 4 full-size spare tires at the rear. So as well, it will maximize out if you fold all the seats down, which is on par with this competition. So the biggest differences now with this middle variant against the top of the line model is that we go to the interior. So here now in the interior of the Stargazer GLS middle variant. Yeah, that sounds really good. Probably the best one now in its class. So the interior of this Stargazer GLS is exactly the same like that of the top of the line variant. I have my thoughts on the base model, so hopefully I can do a walk around tour of that too. I love the steering wheel here. It's like every other new Hyundai now, and as you can see from this shot, it is pretty light no matter what mode. So sport weights up a little bit only, but the usual drive modes, eco, normal, and smart mode, it is pretty light. So we'll get back to the driving dynamics in a bit. So you still have the same set of instrument cluster. You can change the themes if you want depending on the driving mode too. You still have the 8-inch infotainment system that supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Android Auto works perfectly here. There's just a little bit of a delay, but it works nevertheless. So same controls here and there, and below that you have your air conditioning vents. A lot of cubby spaces here. You can literally put a notebook over here, and still the same with the top of the line model. You have a double glove box, I have to say. Okay, it's not too bad, surprisingly. You have your engine start-stop button here beside it. Further down below, where my phone is connected for Android Auto, you have a cubby space over here, a USB port, and a 12-volt socket. Going back here in the door card, a plastic here and there, but for your elbows at least that's leather. And then here on the left side you have your air conditioning vent, a cubby space only. And then going back to the steering wheel, on the left side you have your phone connectivity buttons, and on the right side you have your cruise control functions and adjustments for the instrument cluster. What's not present here compared with the GLS Premium is the Hyundai SmartSense technology. The only remaining tech of it are the rear occupancy alert and the reverse camera with guidelines. The guidelines are pretty responsive and accurate. Still have the same leather seats over here, and then here in the center console, you have your gear shift, your electronic stability control button, and your drive mode button. Further behind, you have a manual handbrake and a cup holder with ambient lighting. Fits a small cup perfectly. So here in the center console box, it's the leather. Okay, the space in there is pretty decent. And then above here, you have a halogen light, sun visor, ticket clip holder. I don't remember if there was a mirror in the top of the line model. They don't extend, but as you can see, it's pretty long. So at least it has a purpose. So here now in the second row of the Stargazer GLS, sounds just as good as the ones in front. And what I like too with this Stargazer, there's a lot of cup holders here. You can at least fit 4 over here in the back. So same materials like in front too, plastic all over here, but leather soft pads for your elbows. And the space here in the back, probably one of the most spacious MPVs in its class. So feet room, knee room, and headroom is all infinite. And my favorite quirk with this Stargazer, surprisingly this middle variant still has it, is this seat back table. Yeah, it's a little bit hard putting it up and back, but look, I'm literally bashing it all over the place, but it will not fold just like that. It's not as flimsy, I must say, than that of the Maxus G50, which also has this feature. And unlike that car, this one has a max capacity of 3.5 kilograms. So if you have 3.5 kilograms worth of food, you can just put it right here, no problem whatsoever. My sister and mom will love this feature. And you have 2 map pockets behind the driver's seat, but at least for this right front passenger seat, it still has 1 map pocket too, and it doesn't have the other one to accommodate this seat back table. And then here in the center, you have 2 USB ports, a cubby space, and then a central armrest over here. No cup holders, but again, there's a lot here on each side of the door cards. And that I like too with the second row, it's still leather over here. I think only the base model are all fabrics. Yet again, I'll share my thoughts soon on that car. And above here, you have 4 air conditioning vents along with your controls. I'm looking at you, Honda BRV. The third row there, yeah, it's still one of the most spacious in its class. And there are cup holders and cubby spaces on either side too. So, without further ado, let's go for a drive. So finally driving this Stargazer middle van. So few more things I missed. Well, there's one thing I never noticed in my GLS Premium review, that the reverse camera stays on until I assume 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. And few more omissions, that there's no front parking sensors. Yeah, I find that a little bit difficult because yet again of the silhouette curve design. And again with the wireless charging pad. So I was wondering why it wasn't trying to charge my phone in the first place. So here, just eco mode, and then it still drives a little bit the same like with the top of the line variant. So let's see in corners on how this will perform, because like my case with the Creta GL and the GLS limited review, that I noticed the GL was a little bit light. So I think it's the same case with this Stargazer GLS. But in terms of acceleration, okay, just in eco mode for now, feels exactly the same. And this is what I like too with this Stargazer. Yes, I know I'm not a fan of CVT transmissions. Well, the IVT of this is really, really good. It feels like I'm driving a conventional automatic transmission rather than a CVT. And here, corner. Of course, it's body lean. It still carries like the characteristics of the MPVs in this class. And then here, sport mode. Okay, a little bit more responsive now, I noticed. Okay, yeah, there's body lean, but it's alright. And then sport up weights up the steering significantly, at least. But at least the Eco, Normal, and Smart, the steering is really light. So it will be very easy to drive this around in the city. Well, like here in Pasong Tamo. And then, of course, Smart mode will be the best balance of all the driving modes. But I'll leave it in Sport because I noticed the CVT transmission is really responsive, like here. Oh yeah, it will shift up and down. Well, it will simulate gears. That's what I like to with this Stargazer. There's some CVT transmissions, it will not simulate any gears, so it will just stay on the red line. But this one at least simulates, I don't know how many gears, 7 gears, I assume. So just go back to my GLS Premium review because I said it all there. And then let's try Smart mode. I barely stay on this mode because I'm always at Eco or Sport mode. Oh, okay. We're trapped. But as you can see, this Petron gas station, yeah, the roads here are really uneven and really bumpy. But this Stargazer soaks them up pretty well. Yeah, this is what I like to with this Stargazer. It's one of the more comfortable MPVs in its class. Yes, the driving dynamics is not the sportiest one comparing with my #1 favorite, the Expander. But yeah, there is something I really like with the Stargazer. Yet again, although not much people mention this, it's one of the most powerful MPVs in its class at 112 horsepower. That's like what, 9 more than that of the Expander. And then visibility all around is really good, even up to the D pillar, as you can see. But my same complaint like with in my GLS top of the line review. So the A pillar might get in the way too much, so you have to watch out for that. And then here, Smart mode, just floor it. Okay, seems exactly the same like with Sport mode, surprising. And then here, Eco mode. Oh, okay. So maybe at lower speeds you tend to notice the transmission delay. That's what happened to me in my GLS Premium review. But here at higher speeds in either mode, okay, it seems pretty responsive. There's not much throttle delay in either of the mode except Sport mode because that's the most responsive. Then the brakes, not too mushy, not too grabby. Well, slow speeds, it might be a little bit too grabby, but it's not too bad. Got used to it pretty quickly. The handling of this is pretty good too. Not, again, like with near Expander level, but I would say a close second place. Driving dynamics wise, I would say this is, I don't know why, a little bit better than the Toyota Veloz, which this as well competes in. Well, I gotta say, same with the Avanza too, because the Veloz is just an overstretched Avanza. This is what I like too with the Stargazer. I don't mind the weirdo looks of this Stargazer. I mean, it looks like just a baby Staria, and as well being more affordable than the Starias, let's not forget. And this is 90,000 pesos less than that of the top of the line model. So is this 90,000 pesos less but more worth it? I gotta say, yeah, exactly like what I said with the Creta GL. I don't need much of the tech, but just gets me from point A to B. Well, at least there's still remaining tech here, like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is very handy for this day and age. Yeah, this MPV seems pretty complete to me. So what I didn't notice too in my test drive last November with the top of the line model is the tire noise, because of course you all know that day there was a little bit of a rushed all videos for 8 cars. This one 60 kilometers per hour, not much tire noise. And again, I would say this has the best NVH in its class. But there's one part here in Pasong Tamo which I really want to test out with this NVH. And again, brakes. Okay, yeah, a little higher speeds, the brake feels a little bit too mushy already. But then again, it's not too bad. It's not meant to be a sporty vehicle to be driven in. Let's not forget the ground clearance of all the Stargazers. It's only at 185 millimeters, which is surprisingly the lowest one in its class. But going over like big potholes, like here in the tunnel, it goes through them with ease. Yeah, here loud motorcycles and loud jeeps pass here all the time in this Pasong Tamo tunnel. Yeah, the NVH here is really good. Yep, I would say it's among one of the best out there. Little nitpick with this GLS middle van is the front sensors. Yes, what I said earlier, the silhouette curve design, you can see the hood all the way down. That's the big problem with this middle van, that compared only with the GLS Premium, which has front sensors. That's the advantage I found with that model. Well, in general, all the Stargazers are pretty good. Let's not forget the base model too. So as well, fuel economy. So this is supposed to be a very fuel efficient MPV, since this being a CVT. Remember my driving conditions, heavy footed, just around here Pasong Tamo. So I think in my autofocus test drive event, I did around 7.1 kilometers per liter. automatic high beam just turned off by itself. That was the warning beep. And here now around Pasong Tamo, same driving conditions, I've been averaging 8.6 kilometers per liter, which is not too shabby at all. And then turning circle of this, pretty tight too. It's comparable like with most of the MPVs in its class. Yeah, this performs alright for me. So would I take one over an Expander? Of course, Expander for me is still the top dog of this class of MPVs, but I still highly recommend this Stargazer because it looks weird, which I love. What this is better than the Expander is probably the fuel economy. It just rose now to 8.7 kilometers per liter. This has better NVH, better space for all the occupants at the rear, and as well competitively priced too, I have to say. So that concludes my review of the Stargazer GLS middle rant. I'd like to thank everyone again at Hyundai Pasong Tamo, Miss Abbie, Miss Liezel, and Sir CJ over here for assisting me here in this test drive. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more Hyundai walk around reviews coming there from Hyundai Pasong Tamo. Bye bye.